This is a Concorde Charisma. It's a vehicle which is almost 9 meters long. It's 2 meters 40 wide, but as you come into it, it does give the impression of actually being much wider than that. Particularly if you sit here, it looks like one of these really wide American things. It's an optical illusion to a large extent because it is narrow, all the same. 2 meters 40 in a vehicle, that's going to take a little bit of getting used to and a little bit of driving. So let's turn around and have a look right to the very back. And you can see these wonderful fittings, looks very nice. I'm not so certain about the position of this chair. I mean, there's other companies as well. Maurer does this as well. I think it looks a bit, to me, a bit like a 1990s Hymer, but obviously it's got a belt on, and I would like to point out from my own experience in various vehicles, putting belts on these seats, it really gets in your way when you're living in the vehicle. We could therefore say this is a vehicle for 3 people. You've got a double bed there, and you've got 2 singles at the back. Okay, you can sleep 4, travel 3. That's an unusual way of doing things, and but why not? You might want to sleep in a double bed. I'd rather sleep in a double bed because something's full of single ones. Right, there is the kitchen, very nicely appointed. Large fridge. And we have the glasses here. I mean, a number of companies do this, but it does have a certain style about it. It looks very nice, and obviously having proper glass, which in my vehicle the only glass I drink out of is empty bottles. So there's that. Now the bathroom amidships. Well, you can close this off so people, if you're parked on the street, don't see you coming out the shower. And you can close this off, so if there's somebody in here whom you don't want to see, or who doesn't want to see you with no clothes on, that can work that way as well. These are single beds that got this thing. Everybody does this nowadays with this thing to join them. Nice gentle step up. I mean, that shouldn't create, well, I say gentle, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but it shouldn't create too much of a problem getting into bed. So it's an easy jump in. Now let's bear in mind that people who are going to be buying a vehicle like this maybe are not going to be as fit as they used to be. Although I was talking to one gentleman, 56 years old, and he told me this. He said for running he's never been such a good runner as he is now. I was very, very proud about that, very pleased to hear it. I wish it were my case. Unfortunately it isn't. The vehicle itself, I think you look down here and imagine being in bed and you look down now. Sometimes I'll lie back in the bed and think, isn't this fantastic? I'm in this wonderful vehicle and I've got all this space. And in something like this, the way it's been laid out and the way it looks, and you think, oh, isn't that great? The beds themselves also got this rising bits here. I mean, I just use pillows, but if you want to sort of electronically push it up, that's great. And they've got your telly. For those who want to watch telly in bed. I know that everybody really seems to want a television in their motorhomes. I believe you should live at home, live in your motorhome like you do at home. You want a television? Well, okay, you've got one. And you've got a nice flat roof to put all your stuff on the roof, and keeping, of course, your stuff away from the shadow, so the shadow doesn't fall on the solar panels, which will absolutely be necessary. Now, this vehicle comes with an optional 170 amp battery over the normal habitation battery. In my opinion, you're going to want something a bit more than that to power everything if you're doing off-grid camping. So that was one thing. I do appreciate that all the lights are LED, and there's nothing here that's going to have a significant power draw, but all the same, that is something worth considering. 200,000 euros, well, you know, that is the price of a good house or a tiny flat in London. Well, a really tiny flat in London. Probably get a cupboard for that in London. But anyway, at most places though, it is of course a lot of money.